What is going on, everybody? It's me here, Elite, next to me. Brunner, unfortunately, is not here with us today. So, shout out Brunner when he comes back. But today, me and Elite are going to start going and talk about the next season of football, even though the Eagles lost, which we haven't talked about. We haven't talked about. This is the first time we addressed football since that prediction. Whatever. But Jalen Ramsey just signed with the Miami Dolphins, or he got traded. I don't know what for. I don't know. Do you know what for? They better have gotten the first round out of it because Rams have no picks right now.
Honestly, I don't know what they got. Let me look it up right now while you're talking.
Yeah, my initial thought, I was eating when I saw it. I think it was for a player and someone else, but I mean the Dolphins are looking pretty hot next year, man. You know they were doing good last season. I don't think they made the playoffs, did they?
No,
No, they did actually. They did, and then
they
the
did actually.
backup
They were the
played.
last team to make the playoffs,
Yeah, the backup played.
and
And Hill was
they
talking
did.
crap going to play the Chiefs. Yeah, good
But they,
pickup. You know, they're building a solid core over there. I think their coaching staff is really good, and that coach knows defense. And he's more of an offensive player. I mean, coach, I know, but got to get Tua healthy. You got to build him a line. If the Dolphins are looking hot, what do they get out of it, Elite?
I'm trying to go through Adam Shepard's thing right now. I just saw that the guy from Washington, Darian Payne, is now the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL, not named Aaron Donald. He just reached. They got a 4-year, $90 million contract, $60 million guaranteed. Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins for a third-round pick, and tight end Hunter Long are going to the Rams. So they got rid of a tight end that they really didn't need, and a third rounder. So that seems to me a little bit low, considering what we just saw for the first round overall of an basically tapped person. We don't unproven person. I mean, it looks like the Panthers had to give away the farm to get that number to move up 8 spots. So I don't
Which
know.
you're right. They did give up the farm. Wait, I don't know who they might get. Some people are saying CJ.
I think it's going to be. So me and Jack have had this conversation. Shout out to Jack.
Shout out Jack.
Jack wants AR-15. This kid, I think it's like Aaron Robinson or something like that. Because he had a massive combine. So Jack gets all emotional about the combine, think it actually means something, the Underwear Olympics. I mean, he was all about John Ross, and John Ross is a bum. What I'm hearing is the rumors is the guy who's most proven, ready to go is either going to be CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. And so I think it's going to be Bryce Young is what I'm thinking. But we'll see. And I also heard they might not be done, that they might trade down and use that for bait to get somebody else. Because I also heard they want to go after Jimmy Garoppolo. So they maybe are going to go after Garoppolo and maybe use him as a bridge quarterback. That could be a possibility. But Garoppolo said he doesn't want to be a bridge. And I'm sure there's going to be enough interest in Garoppolo once free agency opens up that he's going to probably sign somewhere where he's a starting quarterback. But it just seems to me there's a lot still moving parts. It'd be interesting to find out, what is it, Thursday that free agency opens up, or Wednesday? It'd be interesting once teams can talk to Lamar. Because I think that'll be the interesting pinnacle. Because to be honest with you, the Panthers need a lot more than a quarterback.
Yep.
They need, like, Jack was upset because they gave up DJ Moore, who, yes, he has averaged 1,000 yards every season. But they have no one to throw to him this year. You're not. That experiment from that kid that was in the Jets kid, whatever his name was, Darnold, right? Darnold? What was there? Whatever that kid. He used to be with the Jets, and then they traded for him.
Oh, it's Sam Darnold.
No, Sam Darnold was the guy who. Sam Darnold?
Yeah, he was
okay.
Jets, yeah.
And so that didn't work out, and so I don't know. So that'd be interesting. The team, though, I was just talking about this today. We had brunch today with my father-in-law. We took him out for his birthday, and I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I think the team that really has got me a little concerned is the other Florida team. The
The
Jacksonville
Jags?
Jaguars.
Why?
Calvin Ridley's coming back, and
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley's a beast. And it looked like Trevor. It looked like he was just starting to come into his own, and that team made the playoffs, or just on the cusp of the playoffs, without their best receiver.
Yep.
And they had a running game, good defense, so they got a good coach. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. Um, I mean, they might be just wondering if maybe they could pick up some players in the draft. And
So wait, Calvin Ridley, is he for sure a Jag? Because I'm hearing this that he's going to the Jacksonville. Did he already sign with Jacksonville, or
oh,
is he
he
just
signed last year. He signed last year. He had
did
traded
he?
to Jacksonville, and then he got suspended for the season for that 12. They got $2,000 bet or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so they have his rights. And my understanding is I've heard one rumor that he was going to be traded, but then I've also heard that they're keeping him. So I don't think they would get rid of him because their number one receiver right now is Zay Jones.
No, yeah, I would keep him. Keep him
So
and get someone in free agency.
why would you keep? I'd keep Calvin Ridley, and then at least see what he can do. Nice thing is it's a year of he's rested a year. Then the other thing is I'm sure you saw OBJ.
Yep,
OBJ looked good yesterday, real
he did.
good. And so I heard the Jaguars, the Panthers. It was like 8 teams that were there.
Yeah, Dolphins are
Unfortunately,
there too.
were they?
Yeah.
Dolphins don't need him.
No, they don't. They have Waddle and Hill.
The Dolphins have too many receivers now. And it's funny. It's like if the Dolphins could pull off a way, they don't. They don't have. They can't physically do it. They would have to work out a trade with Baltimore. They couldn't just pick up Lamar as on the franchise tag
Yeah.
because they don't have a first round pick because they gave up their first round pick for somebody. I forget who it was. I think it was Tyreek, and so they're ineligible to kind of go in that lottery. But if they could work out a trade, boy, I think it'd be crazy to see the speed of that team. Like if
It
you had
would.
Lamar and Tyreek and Waddle, I mean that'd be such a fast offense. But
It would. And he got Adam
they just
Thielen
put
in free agency too.
but they just put 2 on that 5th year. They signed his 5th year option. So that guy, I don't know. He needs to start thinking about his health. But
I'm curious to see what the Eagles pay Hurts after this year.
so
I think they're gonna pay him before the season.
let me ask you a question. You're an Eagles fan.
Yes.
We both think that Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do
Definitely.
you think Jalen Hurts is worth $250 million guaranteed?
For how many years?
So what's he trying to? So it'd be 5 years because he's trying to get 50 million a year.
I mean, okay. What I'm scared of is another Cam Newton situation. He took him to Super Bowl 50, and then there's like, oh, he'll be back. We gotta see if he'll be back. You know what I mean? But you know what? Last time I doubted Jalen, he took us to the Super Bowl because I remember clearly me and my dad and my brother said, "This is Jalen's team now. No excuses. He's got the weapons. He's got everything."
Mm-hmm.
And with that, he took us to the Super Bowl. So, as an Eagles fan, yeah, I'll say that. But I mean, that's gonna hurt us in the long run for sure. Because we're already struggling with money. Darius Slay was asked to take a pay cut. He said no. So he's seeking trade options. But if not, then he's willing to take a pay cut. That's the situation right now. So I mean, just hearing that makes me want to think like. But I think the Eagles will pay him good money. If it's 200 a mil guaranteed, you better guarantee us a ring. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, and it's like for me, it's like so that's what Lamar wants. That's the money
Yeah,
Lamar wants, and I'm
which is
like,
crazy.
it's crazy because like I think back like if you look at probably the most iconic and successful team in the past 20 years, it's the New England Patriots.
Yeah, hands down.
Tom Brady constantly took pay cuts so that they could have a team around him. If you take 50 million of the cap space, someone's getting shorted somewhere. And the reality is, like, say if we paid 50 million to Jalen Hurts for 5 years, 250, You know what? When AJ comes up, maybe there wouldn't be money for AJ.
Yep.
And how good is it when you have nobody to throw to? It's like
We got
it just to
AJ
me is
and
like
Smitty's coming contracts coming up. AJ we have for 4 more years. We got Reddick for like 2 more years now. So I mean, you never know.
it
You're
just
right.
doesn't
Like
make sense to me those contracts because I look at them and I
yeah,
sit and say like I think quarterbacks should be 30 million, 90 million guaranteed, 30 million, 180. So 180 for 5, 30 million a year. You know, and it's like
yeah,
with a nice signing bonus, take care of them, and it doesn't make sense to me that he wants us all guaranteed money, and I don't see he'll get it anywhere. The only guy, and I hate to say this, the only guy in the NFL that should get a guaranteed contract right now is probably Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. Well, he is like the Tom Brady right now of the league.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the only guy. It's like he's brought you 2 rings now. He's always playing in the AFC Championship. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
he
mean,
has that huge contract too.
yeah, yeah, but but he wasn't it like 10 years or some crazy number that they gave him.
Yeah, it's 10 years. It's a 10-year deal. That's I think because I remember when I saw that, I was like, is that even possible? 10-year
So I
deal.
think
Like
he
it was
got
like
like 25 million a year for ten
let me
years.
check.
It's some crazy thing like that, which is still pretty cool. I mean, if you think about it, 10 years is
Yeah,
lock him up.
10-year, 450 million contract, $1 million contract.
So he's getting
He'll be
45
playing
million
until
a
he's
year.
37 with the
But in
Chiefs. That's their
reality,
quarterback for
it
life.
but in reality, if you think about it, he probably will be playing until he's 37
Yes.
because they're not. You win 2 rings somewhere. Look at Big Ben. Big Ben won 2 rings. Big Ben could have. They had that dude like hobbling around his last 2 years because he wasn't ready
Yeah.
to quit, and he was making big money. They're gonna take care
Damn
of
right.
those guys. Eli Manning played 2 rings.
Two
He
rings.
basically left New York on his own terms. You know,
Except when he
so
got
it's not like
benched.
they're gonna cut those guys,
No, yeah, you're right.
especially
You're right.
especially Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I mean, he's
He's
that
young
face of that
too.
franchise.
Yeah, he is the face of it. So yeah, I agree. I think he's the only one. I think Jalen will get paid good though. I think he deserves more than Lamar, but that's just me.
Oh, I do too, and that's exactly my point. Is I think Lamar is asking too much. I think that's the problem of not having an agent and advocating for
Yeah.
yourself. Is nobody's sitting there telling him, dude, you're asking for too much. You're not worth it. And like the whole thing is like I'm getting sick and tired of ESPN talking about well there's collusion, all these people. Dude, they were allowed to talk to these teams about trades.
Yes.
Trade window was open. Of course, they can come out and say, "Yeah, we have no interest. We've already talked to them. We're not interested." You know, and it's like, why would the Panthers want to go back to that when they had it with Cam Newton? Cam Newton was, in my opinion, a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. He had a better arm. He could throw further. He was bigger. I mean, he was as big as most linebackers.
Yeah, he was
Um,
huge.
so to me, they already tried it and it didn't work with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these other teams, I think people are just kind of look at Kyler Murray. The Cardinals are stuck with that massive contract they gave that guy, and he's a hobo. Literally, he's about the size of my
I
thumb.
definitely agree
Little
on that.
tiny guy.
Sorry. I definitely agree on that. Kyle Murray, I think, is the biggest bank robber in Arizona. I think he should be
Oh,
arrested.
oh my God,
Um,
he's horrible.
it is disgustingly terrible that the Arizona Cardinals paid him for somebody who I think has never even won the division.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's proven himself even with the weapons that they gave him. They gave him D Hop. They went 8-0, and that year that they went 8-0, the Rams won the division and they won the Super Bowl. So you tell me, you know what I mean? Like it's in, and I blamed Cliffberry, right? That was the quarterback's coach. I mean, not the quarterback,
Kingsbury.
the coach, yeah. And
Kingsbury.
Jonathan Gannon, as an Eagles fan, I could tell you is a hell of a coach, and I think that Gannon. Oh, here's a funny story. I went to media day That was the last thing we talked about. We went to media day in Phoenix, and I actually met this local, right? And we were talking about Jonathan Gannon because he was right in front of us, and it was fucking awesome. He was right in front of us, and they're like, "Oh, who's that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's Jonathan Gannon. He actually has an interview with the Cardinals this week." And I'm like, "So we might just leave him here. Like, he might not even come on the bus with us." And then the locals was like, if he was smart, he wouldn't stay here. Even the own fans that were Arizona Cardinal fans that were like, if he was smart, he would leave far away from this place. And I'm
It
like,
it blows
wow.
my mind. It blows my mind because they basically cleaned out the whole front office. So the
Yep.
GM's gone, the coach is gone, and it all to me comes down to that contract with Kyler Murray. Because Kyler Murray, that team is amazing for 8 games, and then all of a sudden, the second time through, when they have to play the second time, these teams the second time, that's the time they lose. And I
Yes.
know it. I know the old saying, it's like really hard to beat a team twice, but it just, I think it's when Kyler Murray doesn't do his research. I don't think he does the
Yes.
bookwork.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do it.
And, and he's too busy playing COD. He should have went on Team Face. And
He isn't team
but
phase.
it's like, oh, is he?
He
Yeah,
is.
that
Yeah, I
makes
was really
sense.
about to say, like, he needs to get off team phase and start focusing on his career. Like, pays him millions. Like, if he wants to play video games and have them pay you, but these guys are paying you millions for a ring. You know what I mean? Like, I would
It's
hope they're trying to bring a ring. Because,
but
dude, I went to Arizona. That last city deserves a ring. The Suns won't give it to him. I'm sure, like, no one else would give it to him. Like, it
it,
sucks out
it
there for
it
them.
crushes me though, like because I still look back and like I would have loved to see JJ Watt come to Pittsburgh. When he left Texas, I would have loved to see him play with his two brothers. And I think he would have looked really cool in the black and gold. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Uh,
such a defensive legacy, you know? And he would have been treated like a god there. He goes to Arizona. They got a couple other players. Then D Hop ends up there. And now D Hop's leaving. Everybody leaves and because it's just a poorly run franchise.
yep.
And plain and simple. And Kyler Murray's taking the whole bag. There's no money to go around. And they're never going
You
to
know,
win.
fun fact. Chandler Jones, his brother is John Jones, is a UFC fighter.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
John.
Dude,
John is the older brother, and Chandler's the younger.
he's a big
But
guy
because
now.
yeah, John lives in Albuquerque, and Chandler lives in Phoenix, so he goes to the Cardinals games, and I'm like, well, fucking poor thing,
Dude,
man.
you, like, where's he live in Albuquerque? You ever thought of like rolling up on his door and be like, hey, what up?
No, he lives like
What
in
up,
a private
Bones?
residential area. Yeah, like it'd be easier to see the Breaking Bad house than seeing John Jones. But
Dude,
yeah, it was pretty cool. They were doing the embedded series, and there was like some places in Albuquerque where I was like, oh, I know that place. I've been
that's
there
pretty
before. So
crazy.
yeah.
That's, that's crazy. We were, yeah, it's, I don't know. It'd be interesting. There's going to be a lot of moving, I think, this year in football. It's going to be interesting to see who was it that said, oh, so what's his face? Deshaun Watson said he's willing to renegotiate his contract.
I don't think he will.
So
I mean,
he's ready to
he needs to.
restructure.
The Browns need to
He needs to
build a
restructure it
better. Yeah,
because they
the
can't
Browns
keep
have
all the
no one.
talent they have.
Browns have no one. Basically, what I'm trying to say here.
They have players. Um, there's a really cool website I'm going to find. Go to this website called Over the Cap. It's called
Over the cap.
overthecap.com. It's literally probably the greatest website that if you're in the NFL, it it's awesome. And it shows you every team, it shows you every contract every team's carrying, it shows you the cap of every team, and you can kind of
Oh,
literally
okay,
see what
nice.
they got going. And you can do
That's
it
another
over like
thing.
the next five years.
This thing just remained. All right, two things I want to talk about here. One, the Saints are idiots for signing an old fart of a mid quarterback named Derek Carr. Just gonna say it now. Um, good luck, Saints fans. Two, I'll go more into that one right now. Two, Chargers create $25.99 million in salary cap space. You okay? Now since Brunner's not here, Brunner, I love you. You're gonna see this right now. I love you. This is the final year for your coach, man. If your coach
Oh
does
yeah.
not prove himself this year, his ass is grass.
So here's my question with that team. So let's say they have another shitty year. Okay, underperforming year. Let's not call it shitty because they didn't have a shitty year. It's underperforming year.
Underperforming year, yeah.
So quarterback now is in year 3 or 4.
Hold on.
So they'll
It
pick up
has to
his.
be 4.
They're gonna pick up his 5th year option.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Franchise. They might franchise tag him in 2 years. I think he walks. I think he ends up playing somewhere else.
I think he signed a contract. 4-year deal.
Really? I'll go tell you. It should be. It'd be on the website. I just told you. So just
Yeah.
to back to the Browns. So this year, the contract for Deshaun Watson is $46 million. He has literally his cap number is $54 million. Then the next highest paid player is Myles Garrett, $17 million. Amari Cooper, $20 million. Wyatt Teller, $12 million. Nick Chubb. They still have Nick Chubb on here for $10 million. So just on those
Yeah.
5 players, their cap hit is 30. That's about 110 million between 5 players. That's not even including the Njoku's, the Denzel Wards that are still. I mean, their team cap space. They're over their cap right now by 14 million.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right now. I think they gotta. I think I would trade J.C. Jackson. I think he gets hurt too much.
And so then the Chargers. The Chargers are over there. They actually have 19 million of cap space. Herbert's got to be on a rookie contract. Yeah, he's a free agent, unrestricted free agent in 2024. He's never signed an extension yet. So if you highlight him, like click him, it tells you what his salary is and what he's earned so far,
Oh yeah,
and it
Darius
tells you
Slay
where
needs
his
to take a fucking
contract
pay
is.
cut, dude. Darius Slay's the highest paying guy. And he fucking sucks. Sorry, I was looking at the Eagles.
Oh, that's fine. It's a great website, man.
Yeah, it is.
And then if you look at the Steelers have 10
What do
million
you
to
think?
play with.
I heard Matthew Stafford's going. It's gone, man. I heard they're looking to shop him around. Did you hear about that?
Where to? Who's going to take him? Who's going to take him?
The same teams, I guess, that'd be interested in Garoppolo. Because you said right now someone's gonna sign Garoppolo. I'm like, who?
Oh,
I think
yeah, but the
Garoppolo's
difference
done.
with Garoppolo and Stafford is about 10 years.
Yeah,
And Garoppolo's never had a losing season.
Stafford should have just retired after he won the ring.
It's
Honestly,
I don't understand these people like they kind of keep going back to the well of like he was blessed to go to that team with all that talent around him and win a ring and show that he was a good quarterback, that he could throw
yeah,
the ball. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And now he's out there, it looks painful. It just looks like an old man trying to hang on.
It
And
looks
same
sad.
thing
Yeah,
last 3 years with Brady. Like after Brady won that he should have left when he won that Super Bowl in Tampa and just left like a pimp,
yeah.
man, just like John
Like
Elway.
a pin.
Done.
Yep.
You
And
know?
Peyton Manning too. Got my
Right. And
ring
it's
and
like,
left. Yeah,
but no, now the last thing they're going to remember is him losing in an NFC playoff game, looking like a hobo getting run over by the Eagles,
that was the Cowboys. Even worse.
Cowboys. So, even worse.
Yeah. He
and
never lost, and
so
it will be like, oh, his last game, he finally lost to the Cowboys. Now that's all they're gonna
it,
remember.
his last game, I think he got sacked 4 times in it, and it's like
That's crazy.
that's what people are going to remember as opposed to the Golden Boy in New England. I honestly think he should have just retired from New England when he left. When he went to Tampa Bay, he should have retired. But it is what it
He
is.
could have, and people thought he was too. Some people thought he would.
But I still have a funny feeling he's going to pop back up somewhere.
Nah, I don't see. If he was, I'd say Vegas.
Well, we know he's got that, like, what is that, $500 million or some ungodly number to be a broadcaster?
Oh, 500. $500 million deal for like
So,
5 years or 10 years to be CBS. So we'll hear about that, dude. I don't even understand why they pay him. How do we know he's good? I feel like
well, the
Gus
thing is, it's
Johnson's
like,
better than him.
who do you think's the best commentator. Like what when a team's playing, who do you think's the best guy calling the game?
Chris
Like all
Collinsworth,
time, who are
probably.
your favorites?
Chris
Yeah, I
Collinsworth.
love Chris Collinsworth. I
Yeah.
love Chris Collinsworth because I was a receiver and he talks like a receiver. Like he talks like I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Or
And
Al
he's
Michaels,
very
probably
smart with the
also,
game.
too.
I hate to say it,
Oh,
Tony Romo.
Tony
Romo
Romo, but
knows his shit.
did you hear that CBS warned him to like start getting his act together?
Why?
I don't know. CBS has a problem with his commentary in these past years. I was reading about that.
Well, he has kind of fallen off a little bit a couple years, but I think too is they broke up his team. A lot of those
Yeah,
like there's too many games, too many places now. So it's like, oh well, they took Amazon and they broke up the NBC Sunday Night Football squad because what's his face
yeah, they
the
did.
Sean Al Michaels is not
Al
there
Michaels,
with
yeah.
Chris Collinsworth anymore, which was
Al Michaels
awesome.
is probably my all-time favorite instead of Chris Collinsworth, honestly.
And it's like my all-time favorite dude of all time, like on the sideline guy, like just like they show him only before games and I think sometimes after games.
Uh huh.
Is he the Steve Smith Senior? That dude is
Yep.
hilarious. Oh, when Randy Moss does it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Steve Smith, I think, is the best when he does it.
Because he
I
like,
like when he gets mad at the
especially when
players.
they put him in a cold weather game and he's all bundled up and shit. And he's like, "What?"
He's all pissed and
That
shit,
dude
dude.
is
That's always funny.
hilarious. I like that guy. Still pissed he didn't get in the Hall of Fame, but
He will.
so it
He will.
goes.
Give it like 3 years.
Yeah, he should have been. I don't know. He put some. I don't know. Here's what it is.
I don't know, but we'll definitely wait for Brunner to do an early predictions. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. But it was a good
Yeah.
one. This isn't free agency hasn't even started yet, and we're already talking on. So I think we definitely have to do a part two on this video. We really had a good conversation. Let us know what you think. Derek Carr. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think he's worth that. We'll
Saints
see. I
overpaid
thought,
him.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Again, another quarterback overpaid in New Orleans. Not surprised. So thank you. We'll see Brunner next time. Hopefully. Thank you, Elite, for
All right.
coming. And we'll see you
Take it
guys.
easy, guys.